are starting our day off by walking to Fort Leme.
It's 6, which is like $1.20 maybe.
Make sure you get your coconut cold.
Love the forest.
There's a tree line, and so they are right there in front of you.
Wow, look at Copacabana from here. Good morning, guys, from Rio de Janeiro,
Brazil. We are starting our day off by walking to Fort Leme.
and it's right up there.
We are walking there from our Airbnb. It's about a 40-minute walk, and we heard that there might be monkeys on the walk up there, so hopefully we can show that to you guys and see it for ourselves.
Before we get to the climb up, we're gonna walk along Copacabana, which is one of the main beaches here where we've been staying. So we'll show you a little bit of that along the way. We have 2 miles of beach to go along.
And it's a Saturday, so it's packed full of people, food vendors, and activities.
It's pretty crazy out here. Take a look at this.
Gelato.
As always, we're getting a coconut instead of a water bottle. It's 6, which is like $1.20 maybe.
Make sure you get your coconut cold. We make sure to ask, is it gelato or frio?
How's the coconut?
Very, very good.
Okay, we just got into the beginnings of the fort and it's free today.
I think normally it's not very expensive, maybe just $1, but hey, we'll take it. So you start at the base. There is this little ticket booth right here where you would purchase your tickets. Then you go through the base and you walk up.
This is what we're going up. So we keep seeing the jackfruit all over Brazil. Every time we see a bunch of trees. Look how huge it is. That is one of the biggest fruits in the world. We gotta try it soon. Look at that. There are probably 20 up in this tree right here. They just grow all over the trunk as an odd fruit. People.
More rainforest hikes.
Love the forest. We can't wait to go to the jungle. The jungle of Brazil. It'll be coming up pretty soon. So keep watching our videos and subscribe if you want to see the Amazon.
We've been walking for about 10 minutes. It's not supposed to be too long or hard of a hike. It's been gradually going uphill. We're covered with shade, but it's still hot.
It's beautiful. We love being in the forest and the jungle. And if you look at the details of these different trees, it's really interesting. Like we have a tree right next to us that just has thorns all over the whole thing. There's just a wide variety of flora here. And then you see the vines, you know, the jungle vines that are hanging down and almost grabbing you. It's really cool.
We've seen a few lizards, some beautiful butterflies. Maybe.
Still waiting for the monkeys.
Yeah. Alex has seen a bunch, but I haven't ever really seen any in the wild, so let's hope for the best.
Our first mirador on the trek up. Still have a ways to go, but this is pretty good already. So I think we're almost to the top, and I think Lindsay read that there's a restaurant or a cafe or something up here, right?
Yeah, it looked like it had amazing views. Prices seemed pretty good. So we might stop and check that out and talk to you guys a bit about traveling in Brazil.
So you'll start to notice once you're in Rio for a while, everywhere you go in Rio, you will see Christ the Redeemer, because it's on the tallest mountain here. It just pops out. There's Copacabana, where we just came from. And there's Sugarloaf, where we were last night. So now we're about to enter the fort.
So they built this fort way back when to protect themselves or protect this area from coastal attackers. amazing views. All the time.
A lookout point for the military. They needed to be able to see all around them, so of course they're gonna have the best view in the city. These are monkeys.
This just made coming to the fort totally worth it. This baby monkey. It's one thing when you see animals in a zoo or something. It's kind of cool, but not really at the same time. When you see them in the wild, it's so different. He's curious, but he's scared. By far one of the coolest things I've ever seen, just because we got so close. Off he goes. So we didn't see any monkeys on the hike up to this fort, but once we got to the top, they are all over by this blue railing. There's a tree line, and so they are right there in front of you. So if you come here, that might be where you can find them. Today we've seen probably around 20 monkeys. They're just chilling right here. Look. Hi, buddy. It's okay. Hello. Hello, cutie.
Wow, look at Copacabana from here. That is crazy. So, Lindsay actually had that wrong. There are actually a couple forts in Copacabana, one on this side and one on the other side of the beach. And this is not the one that had the cafe that where we could get breakfast and all that. Sit down and talk to you guys. But luckily there were monkeys, so we're glad that we did. Okay guys, we felt like this would be a good time to do a little Q&A.
Question comes from Tarsi. It would be interesting to hear about what health insurance you have and how it would cover you should you get COVID and need hospitalization while outside the States.
So we do have travel insurance, health insurance. We have it with Safety Wing, which is linked below if you want to take a look at it. At first, when COVID started really becoming a big thing, they weren't covering that. But then I got an email while we were home that said that they are now covering COVID. And I never looked at the fine print. I didn't read all the details about it. But from that email, it really seemed like they were covering COVID now. It seems like it's more expensive than it used to be, probably for that reason. So I believe we are covered. We should probably look at all the details of it.
We purchased, I think it was 2 months worth, and it was about $100. I think. Does that sound about right?
I think so, or a little more than that.
So that's pretty reasonable for health insurance.
So yeah, we don't have all the details about it, but if you want to check it out, like if you're going to travel possibly, then check out the link below to Safety Wing and you can get all of those details.
Next question comes from Danny Grissom. He says, why did you leave the USA so soon?
The USA is expensive, first of all. As you know, Lindsay doesn't have her job right now because she's traveling, and it would be the end of our travels if she went back to her job, probably. And then my job consists of traveling. And it doesn't really cover travel in the US. We also would have to probably buy a van or something like that if we were traveling in the US because accommodation is so expensive. So we kind of had to leave if we were going to continue doing this at all. So if we
spent about 2 months at home and it was a good break. Next question comes from Rick Reed. Do you not feel safe from gut feeling or what you were actually told?
A bit of both. although from Brazil we were told more things. We kept being told from locals, from anyone who had been there, that Brazil wasn't as safe as other places.
So normally when we read this or hear this, we kind of tend to second guess it because we've heard that a lot of countries are dangerous, but then when you actually get there, it doesn't seem very dangerous. But when we started getting more concerned is when we actually arrived in Brazil. The locals who have lived here their whole life, even they're on guard looking for people to steal their phone or their jewelry. So when the actual locals are concerned, that's when you know that it's actually legitimate to be a little bit concerned.
So it's a combination of what we've been told and then gut feeling. Because of all this put together, there's something about Brazil that seems different, or at least the main cities. I always travel with my camera in hand. I just walk around with a big camera in my hand. So I felt safe in all these other places that people had told me that they were not safe, or you hear around the world that they're not as safe. But there's something about Brazil.
Yeah, like when we filmed in Peru and Colombia, we were always filming. We didn't even have to look around at our surroundings. It was just pretty much safe to do whatever. But here, I notice Alex is always constantly like looking over his shoulder under his sunglasses to see who's following us, who's watching our gear.
Yeah, because we've heard from people, even tourists and locals alike. Some tourists have told us that just yesterday they had a friend who got their phone taken, and a couple days before we heard that they saw something being taken, and we just keep hearing more and more and more from all these different people that it does happen. So I guess it's really frequent here, so it could very easily happen while we have our stuff out.
People have told us we don't actually have to be concerned for our like well-being. Like people don't really like murder you or kidnap you. It's more so petty crime, like stealing things, theft.
Okay, the next one is from Sofia Cornejo, who says, "You have arrived. Delicious food. What language do they speak in Brazil? Spanish and another language?" Yeah, so it's interesting because most of South America speaks Spanish, but in Brazil they speak Portuguese. A lot of people actually don't know that. So yes, we're trying to learn some basics of Portuguese. They actually don't speak a lot of Spanish, although Spanish is kind of similar to Portuguese, but only in some ways.
So yeah, a lot of the Spanish words closely resemble Portuguese, so they're just mainly pronounced a little bit different. So sometimes if we use some Spanish words, they'll kind of know what we're saying. Like, you're welcome is similar to de nada, and there's a few other phrases like derecha and izquierda for right and left. It's
Mucho, muito.
Difference.
Yeah.
So
Hola.
We've been able to get by, but not many people here know English or even fluent Spanish, so it's really just mainly Portuguese. So it's been a great day so far. I got a little carried away with the monkey footage because I got super excited, so I used up most of the memory on our GoPro, so I think we're gonna have to cut this video a little short. Sorry about that.
But because we have so much monkey footage and we didn't want to use a ton right there in it and get you guys all to click out, if you're interested in the monkey footage, here is a few minutes of just monkey footage.
morning. So we decided to take a down day to start planning some travels for when we leave Rio, when we go through Brazil.
So at first we were thinking that it would be cool to take a bus from Rio to the state of Bahia to Salvador. That's where we're trying to go. We thought it would be cool to see everything in between on the way there, but it looks like it would take about 30 hours to do that trip.
By bus.
When you look at a map of Brazil, it looks like it's not that far at all, but Brazil is a huge country, so even the distances that look like they're only a little piece of the country, it would take multiple days to get there.
Yeah, so it's honestly kind of hard to plan the Brazil trip because there's so much we want to see and it takes a lot of time to get to each city. So we found out the bus costs around $75, and like Alex said, it'd be like a 30-hour trip. There might be some okay stops to see along the way, or even great stops, but there's just so much to see. So it looks like about $75 for the flight. Sometimes these budget airlines or domestic airlines will charge you for your baggage, so it could be a $30 fee for that, but we'll see. And
still cheap. To go that whole way, it takes 2 hours. So why spend way more and waste 2 days journey to get there, probably in an uncomfortable bus, sleeping in it, when you could just fly?
So yeah, so to fly there, it's only 2 hours. So you save a lot of time, you're saving money, and it's probably safer. So sounds like a no-brainer. We're probably gonna fly there.
I think we are. So we just thought we would show you a little bit of our planning and also ask you any questions. We are going to Bahia, and there's a ton to do there. It looks beautiful. It looks stunning. But if you're a Brazilian or you've been to Brazil, maybe you can let us know what we absolutely have to see, because there's so much in that area to see, we can't really decide. If we're gonna spend a week or two there, what are the main things we have to hit? Let us know in the comments.
So our tentative plan is to head north from Rio, travel as north as we want, then head to the Amazon, and then take a flight to go south. But anything can be changed because we don't have anything booked yet.
Yeah. We love your tips and your advice. You guys have always been super helpful, so thank you for that. Let us know if you have anything for us.